Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Van Nelson and I'm thrilled to be involved in Be the Difference on International Women's Day and hope sharing a little bit of my background will inspire women and girls out there to spread their wings and fly to new heights. I'll start off with what I do today. Firstly, I'm a mum of two teenagers, one 15-year-old girl and one 17-year-old boy, both who keep me very grounded. I put family first and have always valued independence from a very young age, which proves useful as I'm married to a fly-in, fly-out worker who is away for more than half of the year. Secondly, I work in the corporate world. I'm Managing Director of Adecco Australia, which is the world's leading provider of workforce solutions. We put nearly 1 million workers into jobs every day around the world. Here in Australia, I manage 18 offices and several thousand of those workers. It's non-stop, but it's very rewarding as I get to shape what the future of work looks like, help people to earn a living and have a positive impact on employment opportunities. My third hat, which is the one I'm going to share a bit more about today, is that I'm a #1 best-selling author, award-winning contemporary poet, and a poetry slam spoken word performance artist, changing the world with the literary word on social issues that matter. In short, I am a juggler. I've got 4 books published with another 2 due for release in 2021. And I've had my work published in over 100 newspapers, magazines, and anthology books. And I've also appeared on numerous channels on TV and on radio programs, including The Today Show and on channels like ABC, Channel 7 News, Channel 9, Channel 10, the BBC in the UK, and CBS LA in the USA. My first book, Graffiti Lane, is a #1 bestseller, and it's a raw, gritty poetry collection which focuses on childhood and corporate bullying. It's around being the underdog and the power of resilience. As a high school girl, I was bullied relentlessly, so I am a big advocate for anti-bullying strategies. The messages from this book have gone viral, cascaded to over 1 million students, and the book has gained notoriety in Hollywood after being gifted to the 2020 Oscar nominees and winners, including Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino in the director category, and numerous actors and actresses, including Brad Pitt, Scarlett Johansson, and Lady Gaga. A copy was even left in Robert De Niro's hotel suite, which was really cool. This book also comes in limited edition form, fusing poetry with street art photography of some of the hippest street scenes and murals in Australia. I also have a book called Punch and Judy, which is another #1 best-selling contemporary poetry collection, focusing on a turbulent relationship and domestic violence, shining a spotlight on much needed conversation around domestic abuse and also sharing messages of strength and courage for women in difficult situations everywhere. I also write fiction with a short story collection called Rolling in the Mud, published about gritty society and the underbelly of life. Growing up, I had 2 dreams. One was to leave home and explore the world, and the other was to be a writer. At the age of 13, I told all my friends I would one day write a book, and I never stopped believing that that was possible. Even though I was bullied at school and came from a working class council estate and broken home, I knew that my future still rested with me and that I would do everything possible to carve a better life for myself. To articulate a snippet of my childhood, I'm going to share a slam poem called Breaking the Rules. It goes like this. I broke every rule when I graduated school at 16 with certificates filled with GCSEs, grade A but still no university degree. I couldn't afford to pay the fee. When everything I earned from sweeping floors at the hairdressers, serving 6-pack bread buns in the bakers, flipping burgers wrapped in grease-proof paper, went to paying the council official dividends courtesy of government lip service assistance for the 4 walls of rough cast housing camouflaged in a concrete jungle. Even the SAS would struggle to rescue the girl who always knew life came with a renewed daily mission. I broke every rule when I became a mule, smuggling my underage innocence beneath feigned self-confidence onto the bus to London, down a one-way street travelling from Newcastle on a ticket bought without parental guidance. Because even though they say blood is thicker than water, it can also clot the veins, and I wanted to cut the reins from my mother and never look back. And Papa didn't care since the day he left me standing alone there, while he rushed upstairs with a burst artery that flooded his heart with bleeding instead of beating, never coming back downstairs again to see the girl cut off her pigtails to transform into someone that dovetails seamlessly into society. I broke every rule when I kept my cool, because nobody who comes from a broken home wants to be broken. So I survived alone in the big smoke with a few pounds tucked in my coat pocket, a pocket rocket, spending the rest on night school to show the world I was no fool. Even though the Queen's English evaded thee and privilege passed over me, I was damn smart, playing the part, refining my art, giving myself a kick start, following premeditated flow chart into a job, answering the phone, faxing memo, trying to raise the memories of neglected younger years and all the deeply rooted fears that I was never going to be good enough, and imposter syndrome would forever be my only companion. I broke every rule not to be cruel, but to be kind to myself when my boss chose to remind me that I had made it so far as to fly the cuckoo's nest, and I should never rest until I succeeded in making the migration from there to here worthwhile, never clipping my own frantically flapping wings, because only you can spread those wings and fly so high I could well see Papa, and he might just see the woman I'd grown up to be. I broke every rule when I put on a jewel hat, corporate executive with a feather in my cap and a cap in my hand, working 24/7, building organisational brand before the darkness sets in and the side hustle kicks in, as a poet with deeply rooted scars ingrained in a sonnet, with that feather and cap overshadowed in mental pain from the threat of a sting from the bee in my bonnet, buzzing so loudly it's a struggle to remember that I really did cut those pigtails off, and it's time to tell tales of truth, overflowing with what's real, helping to heal this soul who broke and was put back together on an open mic, bearing every crack in the spotlight, not caring if this poem is filled with so many loose threads it can never be wound on a spool, because I'm still the goddamn sharpest tool in the box that you can't box me into, because I'll always be the girl who broke every rule in the school, who grew into a woman who would rather rhyme to make a dime than recline and decline back into old school. Thank you. That poem really encapsulates my superpower, which is resilience. My father did pass away suddenly in his 40s, and my mum and I are estranged, and I did leave school at 16, not because I wasn't bright enough or didn't want to stay on in further education, but out of a need to survive and carve out a better life for myself. I developed resilience at an early age, learning hard lessons that life would always bring setbacks and challenges, but that each time I got up from a knock, I would be stronger. Obstacles can be climbed over, crawled under, walked around, kicked out of the way, but they would never stop me achieving my destiny, which was to become the best version of myself and to achieve my dream of becoming a writer. If I could go back now and coach 16-year-old me, I would ask her to be kinder on herself and to others, for the struggles are there for everyone, they just wear different masks. And the truly special girls are here to stand up for what's right and lighten the load for others. I would tell her to embrace life and all of its flaws and challenges, because the scars and the war stories are what make a person real and stronger today than yesterday. I would tell her that it is always possible to achieve your dreams, no matter what curveballs come your way, if you learn to tune into your superpower of willpower and take small steps every day towards achieving your one big life goal. I would tell her that she is unique, and unique is beautiful. I hope this advice to be the difference is timeless and works for you too. Please check me out on social media or via my website, which is kellyvannelson.com, as I would love to connect. Thank you for listening.